Running out of money is the biggest problem any business faces. Whether you're just starting your own business or have been in business for a few years, handling your finances is one of the most important skills you need to develop. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to handle finances as a rookie entrepreneur so that you can thrive in your business and not run out of money. Now, I'm not a financial advisor and this video is for entertainment purposes only, so make sure that you do your own research. And before we begin, remember to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one. The first one is, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. When you're starting out, you're gonna get distracted by a lot of things. You're probably gonna have shiny object syndrome. And that is one of the reasons why most entrepreneurs don't succeed. You have to realize that the number one job of a business is to make money. And if you're not making money, you don't really have a business. So your number one job is to go out and start selling your product, your idea. See if people are willing to pay for that product or service. And that is going to give you a good idea whether the business is going to succeed in the future or if you have to tweak it or pivot. But you need to know if there is a need in the market for that product or service. And try to keep it simple at the beginning. Try to come up with the easiest, cheapest way to test your idea or your service. Come up with a minimum viable product or service and make sure that it's profitable before you spend all your time and money into that idea. Some people say that business is all about sales and all the other activities that are not sales are supporting sales. So in a way, your most important job is to make money and generate the cash flow you need to make sure that your business survives. So when it comes to managing your finances, you want to make sure that you don't buy anything that's not going to make you money in the future. Because when you start buying things you don't really need and that are not going to make you money in the future, then you're generating expenses. And you're going to slowly start to see your bank account go down and down and down. And it's going to put pressure on the business and on yourself. So you're going to start making irrational decisions just to justify your expenses. And the same thing goes to everything else that's not going to make you money. If you know that you're doing something and the majority of your time you're spending doing something that's not going to generate money or move the business forward, then you need to stop doing it. You need to start focusing on sales and on making money first. And then you can worry about having a better product and improving your product as you go along, because you're going to have more money, more information, more feedback. But first you need to make sure that your business survives, because if your business doesn't make it to the improvement phase, then it doesn't really matter. Number two is get a second source of income. We have all heard those stories of entrepreneurs that decide to quit their 9-to-5 so that they can go all in on their business. And sometimes that decision pays off, sometimes, well, let's just say that we don't really hear those stories. The point that I'm trying to make here is that when you take off all the stress and the pressure of your bank account dropping every single day, you're going to make more rational and sound decisions. And those decisions are going to benefit your business and they're going to benefit yourself. At the end of the day, business is all about testing new ideas and trying to come up with a different, more creative way of doing things. But you're not gonna be able to get creative and experiment different things if you're not willing to fail. When you have a second source of income, you're gonna have that freedom and peace of mind to fail and experiment different things, because you never know. One of those things can be your breakthrough, can be the thing that you need to make it in business or to grow your business. So even though this point goes against all the narratives of quitting your 9-to-5 and going all in on your business, just make sure that you get a second source of income if you are one of those people that tend to worry when they see their bank account dropping every single day. And this one doesn't have to be a full-time job either, because what you don't want to do is get a 9-to-5 that is going to take all your time, that when you get home you're so tired mentally and physically that you don't even have the passion or the motivation to work on your business. So you want to get a job that is easy to do. It maybe doesn't pay very well, but it pays the bills and it's at least gonna cover your expenses until you are starting to see some growth in your business. And if you're one of those people that don't worry when they see their bank account, then make sure that you know how much time you have left. So what does that mean? It means that you know exactly how much your expenses are every month for business and for personal stuff, how much money you're making, and if you're not making any money, you know how much cash you have in the bank and how quickly that cash is gonna get eaten up by your expenses. This is going to help you come up with a better plan for the future, and it's also going to help you focus on the things that need your attention the most. And just like I said before, that important thing is probably gonna be sales. But if you're not there yet and you can't even sell your product or service because nobody wants it, then take a step back and look at your idea. How can you make it better, and how can you get feedback from other people so that you know what they actually want? All of that is going to help you see how much time you have left and what kind of things you need to be doing in your business. The next one is you need to come up with your formulas. And every business is going to have different formulas depending on their industry, what they sell, maybe the time of the year. But I came up with a simple example right here. And this is an example of a formula. And what it means is that maybe you need to talk to 20 different prospects, 20 different people that you need to contact in order to get 5 calls, 5 sales appointments. And let's say that from those 5 calls, you get 2 sales. And if you want to take it a step further, we can say that every sale is worth $2,000 in revenue. So with those 2 sales, you would make $4,000. And to make $4,000, you would need to talk to 20 different people to get 5 calls to make 2 sales. And at the beginning, it doesn't really matter how effective or ineffective your formulas are. So if you find out that you need to talk to 50 people to get 5 appointments and make 1 sale, that's okay. You just need to identify the numbers first so that you can see where the process falls off, and that way you can improve on that particular area. But first you need to identify your formulas. And once you know your numbers and your formulas, you can reverse engineer your goals. So let's say that you want to make a certain amount of money every month. And if you want to make $10,000 a month, that would be 5 sales, because every sale is worth $2,000 to you. Let's just say that. So if you want to make $10,000 a month, you will need to have 5 sales. And to get 5 sales, you need to get at least 15 appointments. And once you know the number of appointments, you're gonna find out the number of people that you need to talk to get those appointments. But that's what I mean. You're not gonna find out how many appointments and how many people you need to talk to unless you come up with the formulas and identify the numbers. And if you're enjoying the video so far, then make sure that you hit the like button, because it really helps with the algorithm. But the next one is focus on the essentials and eliminate everything else. This one is very similar to what we talked about, which is if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. But I decided to write it down because this is one of the biggest mistakes I made when I started out. You see, when I first started out, I was all over the place. I tried the agency for a while, and then I was like, oh, that can make me money faster, so I'm gonna try e-commerce. And then, you know, the cycle kept going on and on and on. So what I realized after so many months, maybe even a few years of making the same mistake, I realized that no matter what you choose, you can make money on it if you grow your skill set and if you totally commit to that thing. And if you don't let anything else distract you from working on that thing relentlessly, you can make it work. So my point is that no matter what you choose, whether it's starting as a sales agency or a social media marketing agency, maybe a YouTube channel, e-commerce, you know, whatever business model you can think of. If you totally commit to that thing, and if you don't let anything else distract you from working on that, you're probably gonna have a better chance of making it than if you were trying the agency model for a few months and then you start a YouTube channel for 6 months and then e-commerce and then whatever the next big thing is. And I know this is easier said than done. I've been there myself. It's so easy to get distracted by the new thing because you know that it's gonna be better and it's gonna make you more money faster. But that's not the case. I can tell you from experience that you are better off spending your time on one single thing. It doesn't really matter what that thing is, than if you were trying different business models. The only exception to this is when you're a complete beginner and you don't know what you're doing and you're trying different business models to see what resonates with you and what you're interested in. But when you have something that interests you and that you know for a fact it can be profitable because it has worked for other people before, then you need to commit to that thing and don't let anything else distract you. Now the next one is track your numbers as if your life depended on it. You can't improve something that you don't measure. When you track your numbers, you're gonna be able to see how much money is coming in, how much is going out, what kind of expenses you have, and what approach is making you the most money. So this is going to allow you to double down on what's working and eliminate unnecessary expenses that maybe are not so high on a month-to-month basis. But when you have different subscriptions that you haven't used in months, then it starts to add up. And I know that there are different software you can use to track your finances, but most of them cost money. So I created a financial tracking sheet you can get for free where you can track your expenses, your cash flow, and your revenue. You just have to leave a comment saying that you want it and I will give it to you for free. The next one is set incentives for yourself. And this is when it gets interesting, because when you know exactly what percentage of your income goes to advertising, labor, taxes, or back into the business, then you can set aside a percentage for yourself. And this example is pretty standard for service-based entrepreneurs, but out of all income, 55% usually goes to acquisition/advertising and labor. So those two together. Those two are going to be your biggest cost in business. Then you can set aside 10% to pay taxes every year. Then you have 20% of profit that goes back into the business so that you can grow it and innovate more quickly. And then you can set aside 15% to pay yourself so that you know that every month you're gonna have a consistent paycheck of 15% of whatever revenue you generate that month. But this is just an example and you can play with the numbers. So if you realize that the cost of acquisition, advertising and labor is less than 55%, let's say it's 45% of your total income, then you have 10% to play with. You can add 5% of profit so that you can invest that 5% back into the business, so it's 25% profit total. And then let's say that you set aside 5% for taxes, or you can pay yourself a little bit more if you have that percentage available. What matters here is that you start to see your finances, your percentages, your formulas, your numbers as something that is not complicated and something that you're comfortable doing, because this is something that you're gonna have to use if you wanna grow a healthy business. And if you wanna make it even more interesting, then you can set goals and reward yourself whenever you hit them. Let's say that your goal is to get to 15K a month and you're currently at 5K a month. So you can set a goal for yourself that whenever you hit that 15K, you're gonna reward yourself by buying a PS5 or going to that trip that you always wanted to. It doesn't even have to be a big expense either. As long as it motivates you and moves you to hit that goal, that's all that matters. So that's how you would use incentives to grow your business and take care of your finances. But I'm curious to know what you got from the video, so put down in the comments your biggest takeaway and I will read all the comments. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this one, and I will see you in the next one.